Good morning, guys. It is 4:21 and I just got out of the shower. I'm so tired. I'm gonna just get ready, put some like sunscreen and a little bit of makeup on and make some coffee and hit the road.
You and me stuck on the ocean now, nothing but waves and they're spilling in. I wanna dry up but you just keep on going, don't you? I don't even know how we got here.
Alright, let's go make some coffee.
All my reasoning have disappeared. I wanna bury the hatchet and find the way back to our home, our home, our home. We don't have to drift inside this dome.
Alright, we've got our coffee, we've got our breakfast bar, and it's time to hit the road. I'm super excited. Let's see what time it is. It is 4:38. Still make it to the Grand Prismatic Spring around 6, around like sunrise-ish.
I will not let us fade away.
I have just arrived at the Grand Prismatic Spring in Yellowstone. It is about 6:15-ish right now. As you can see, it's light out, but I think I'm in the right place. I'm not 100% sure. I just parked it and now I'm gonna try walking and trying to find it. There are definitely some like geysers around here, so I think I'm in the right spot, but we'll see.
It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back.
I think I've made a mistake coming this early because it's still so cold, even in August, that the steam coming up from the geysers is just blocking the view of everything. It's so foggy behind me. Look at that. There's even like something in my hair. But if the Grand Prismatic Spring is blocked by fog or steam, I think I'm just gonna come back a little bit later today when it warms up and the steam has kind of dissipated. I should have thought of that, dang it, but you live and you learn.
There to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home.
I decided that instead of waiting at the Grand Prismatic Spring for the steam to stop steaming, I would be a little bit more productive and go over to Old Faithful. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm going to, I don't actually know what time Old Faithful is going to be erupting, but I have to check the app for that. And then I'm going to explore the Upper Geyser Basin, which is right next to Old Faithful. So if it is going off right away, or if there's going to be like an hour until it goes off, then I'm going to go ahead and explore the Upper Geyser Basin and then come back and watch it. So I will take you along with me for that. Let's go. You may not know that Yellowstone was actually the first national park in the entire world, which is super cool that it's actually in the United States and so close to my hometown. Yellowstone is known for its geothermal energy, which actually causes these springs, pools, and geysers that you'll see in this video and that you'll undoubtedly see if you visit Yellowstone. These geothermal areas are actually caused by a super volcano, which is inside Yellowstone and has erupted 3 times. The last one over 600,000 years ago. Old Faithful Geyser is certainly not the tallest geyser in Yellowstone National Park, but it is one of the most popular, probably because it erupts more frequently than any other big geyser in the park. So it's really easy to check the Yellowstone National Park app and see when the next eruption is going to happen and then arrive 10 or 15 minutes before that. I have made it back to the Grand Prismatic Spring, and God willing, I hope I can see it this time. I'm super excited. The parking was a little bit more packed and hard to find, but it took me like maybe 5 minutes to get into the parking lot and find a parking spot. And it is 10:25 right now, so I'm hoping all of the steam is gone. I think I still see a little bit of it, but I think we'll still be able to see the spring. So I'm excited.
I always knew we could do so many great things. So believe in me, I believe in you. And I just feel that this will be an upswing. So hear me out. I know we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that chasing all that chasing all that.
We just got to see the Grand Prismatic Spring. It was so beautiful, and I recommend after you do that, relatively close to the entrance to it is a trail called Fairy Falls. So I recommend going there after because it gives you an aerial view of the spring. So that's what I'm about to go do now. The Grand Prismatic Spring is Yellowstone's largest hot spring. It's over 120 feet deep. So the color around the outside is actually caused by different temperatures of water, and the actual color that you see is bacteria and different thermophiles who thrive in that specific temperature of water.
We lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have. Chasing all that we don't have. Chasing all that we do not have. We do not all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have. Chasing all that we don't have. Chasing all that we do not have. We do not. Yesterday we could be ourselves. Didn't have much, but nevertheless we were true to each other. But now we don't even bother. I remember you being hopeful, but the tall waves have worn us down, and slowly we are drowning.
You guys just saw were the geysers, the pools, and the springs from Biscuit Basin, Black Sand Basin, and West Thumb Geyser Basin. All three were super pretty, and now I am heading to Mud Volcano, Sulphur Cauldron, and Hayden Valley. And I am super excited about Hayden Valley because that's supposedly where a ton of wildlife is. I haven't seen any wildlife yet, except I saw a deer when it was pitch black this morning when I first got here around 6 a.m. But I'm super excited to see bison, elk, or anything else that we can find in Hayden Valley. So that's what you're going to see coming up here next.
That's why you need to come with me, with me, with me.
Apparently, sometime in the past, this ground was completely covered by just regular trees and grass, and then at some point, mud just shot out of the earth due to the geothermal activity underground. And the trees are still next to each of the mud pits, so you'll see the trees taken up by their roots just laying on their side. And the mud used to shoot out of these pits like geysers, like Old Faithful, for instance. But now they're pretty dormant. They bubble up a little bit. But in the future, it's said that they might even start shooting up like geysers again because Yellowstone is always changing.
It's not a price I wanna pay, and it's not too late. No, we lost our purpose, chasing all that surplus. You were all that I need. I feel that we can break free. We can still go back there to a place with no cares. We can turn this ship around. We can turn this ship around all the way back home. Chasing all that we do not have. Chasing all that we don't have. Chasing
here we are, day 2 of Yellowstone, and I am super excited. Today I'm going to be going to Mammoth Hot Springs and then the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, and there will be other stops in between, but those are the two I'm really excited about today. I have got my coffee here. Let's go. Mammoth Hot Springs is probably the closest site toward the northern entrance, so this was my first stop today. And what's cool about these hot springs is that some of them are flowing and some of them are laying dormant, but when the area was first discovered, it might have been the opposite. So the ones that are dormant today might have been flowing, the ones that are flowing today might have been dormant, because everything in Yellowstone is always changing. So the ones that are dormant today could start flowing in the future, but if they don't, soil will actually take over and the trees and grass will start to grow again on top of it.
I always knew we could do so many great things, so believe in.
I've already made a couple stops after Mammoth Springs so far. You just saw the Golden Gate Bridge, and here is Roaring Mountain. This mountain has a ton of just pockets where steam comes up through the land because there's so much thermal activity going on below the land that the steam needs to escape somehow, and this is how it's done. I got myself a pulled pork Sammy from the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone restaurant, and there doesn't look to be any picnic areas around, so I'm just going to eat it in my car and then go see the canyon.
Believe in me, I believe in you, and I just feel that this will be an upswing, so hear me out. I know we lost our purpose.
I just hiked down to the grand viewpoint of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, and it was probably the most strenuous hike I've ever done, which honestly isn't saying much. It was probably like an intermediate hike, but it was just steep and narrow, and you had to pass people in certain parts, so yeah, it was kind of scary. But if you are willing to be a little bit scared and able, the viewpoint is totally worth it. It was an awesome view of the falls. Here it is, check it out. The Canyon of the Yellowstone is probably one of the coolest things I saw on the entire trip to Yellowstone. There are 2 different roads that you can take to see the canyon. One of them is the North Rim Drive, which I'm on right now, and you can see the Grand Viewpoint, the North Rim Trail, Inspiration Point, and Lookout Point from the North Rim Drive, and these all give you views of the lower falls. And then after that, if you go through the South Rim Drive, you'll see Uncle Tom's Viewpoint and Artist Point, and you can view Upper Falls from that area. And I would honestly give the canyon 2 to 3 hours because it's that cool and you're going to want to hike around. I just finished up at the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone and it was amazing. I accidentally got lost for about 2 hours, so I went on an accidental 2-hour hike, but it was still super pretty and I got to see even more of it, so that's okay. So now I am going to head to a few of the things in the southern loop that I did not get to yesterday, and that is the Norris Geyser Basin, Gibbon Falls, and Artist Paint Pot Trail. So you're coming along with me for that, and let's get to it.
Loved you from the first time you called me lame. Loved you for your wits and your wicked games. Yeah. Always on my mind, always in my brain. Yeah. With you the summer came and went in a day, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. near when you're miles away. Yeah, you can make it shine when the whole world rains. Always on my mind, always in my brain.
Alright, I just got done at Gibbon Falls and everything else you just saw, and that is my last stop where I'm gonna have to hike or walk anywhere, which is super nice because I am super tired. I've walked 24,000 steps today and I walked pretty much the same thing yesterday, so needless to say, my legs are pretty pooped. But the last stop is going to be Lamar Valley. Supposedly it's really good for wildlife viewing, particularly wolves, which would be interesting, but I'm not 100% sure I'll get to see that. But hopefully some bison. And it's about 6:20 right now, so the sun usually sets around like 8:15-ish. So I've got some time. It's probably going to take me about an hour to drive over to Lamar Valley, but then we'll have some time to see what's over there and then head out of the park for the last time.
With you the days are long and the nights are late, and I've been craving you since the first time that I sat by your side. And I've been on my knees thinking time is gonna fix me inside. Oh, no, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget, and I don't think I want to forget.
Yellowstone wildlife is actually amazing. You'll see these bison almost anywhere, but the most I saw was in Lamar Valley, which I'm driving through right now. And just a couple facts for you, Yellowstone is the only place in the US where bison have lived since prehistoric times. That's crazy. In this area, some viewers with binoculars could also see black wolves up in the mountains when sunset started to happen. These wolves, as well as bears, are predators of bison, but they usually don't get close enough to visitors to actually see them up close, which is kind of a blessing. In addition to bears, bison, and wolves, you'll also see deer and elk in Yellowstone, as well as small woodland creatures like squirrels, marmots, birds, etc.
Forget anyway, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. Yeah, I don't think I want to forget anyway, yeah.